you could say anything to your pre-med self, which you were just over a year ago, what advice would you give yourself? And, in essence, what advice would you give to our audience members?
I would definitely say have no fear, because it's really easy to like get overwhelmed every time, every day. Even now for us, over a year later, it's so easy to like kind of get this feeling like, oh my gosh, like this seems like a lot, or just different things. And I feel like those are all rooted in like almost like a fear. I mean, you're gonna have times where you're gonna miss questions, you're gonna get not the best grade you were hoping for, or just different things. And if you're a perfectionist, and you tend to become one if you're not, in medical school, because we want to make the best outcome for our patients and everything, and know the information. It's just like not letting yourself get down, like not get yourself down through being afraid to like get things wrong, or to get a bad grade, or to just do questions. So basically, for a long time, like I didn't feel like I didn't want to get questions wrong all the time. So it made it so that I wasn't really doing questions and stuff as much as I should have been doing. And that's one thing I definitely would go back and change, because it's actually good to get things wrong, especially early on, because then you're really learning. The stings, they don't hurt as much, but they still teach just as much. And it's the more practice you do, the better off you are. So, you have to try and avoid being afraid to practice.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, this concept that we've been trying to teach, like, during the session is, a lot of people come to med school and are like, oh, I just need to study all day, every day. That's what med school is. And that is something I do not recommend to do. You have to find that balance. It's really important to, make sure you're getting adequate study hours, and then also adequate sleep, adequate meals, friends and social time and Netflix time and everything. Like, it's really important to have just a really wholesome type of life, and just don't. I know a lot of people in my class are like, not a lot of people in my class, but a lot of people I hear sometimes, through the weeds, they're like, oh, I can't watch TV. I study all the time, or I can't afford to go outside for 5 minutes because I have to study. And I'm just like, no, don't do that. Please go outside. Please make time for yourself. It's really important to have a really good mental, and make sure that so that way you can make sure you're on top of everything. So,
and I think that's important. So I'd like to ask Dr. Evans to comment on that as well, from the university's perspective, from the administration's perspective. How do we make sure that students' well-being is taken care of?
Sure. So it's a system approach. It's a culture of care that we've created. We emphasize student wellness and colleague wellness from the start in terms of resources available, making sure there is protected time in student schedule to take care of the things that they need to take care of. Peter spoke about being flexible. We really try to adhere to that and meet students where they are, and see what their need is. And if we call it the easy lift on campus. Small example, we had a student ask if they could use certain space near our Office of Student Affairs offices for study space. We met as a team on campus, and we said, sure, we could do that. So just small things that make life easier. We also really focus on the need to be self-reflective, especially as we're training physicians, and they need to be able to take a second to look at themselves, to know what they need before they could be really effective and efficient for their patients. So it's everywhere. There's not just one thing that we do. We do have a director of counseling and wellness who provides free mental health counseling and support. And then we also have informal supports like academic success partners for every first semester student, which is a person who's an accountability partner, and really to Peter's point, the white glove service of being that point person for transitioning to Freeport and to WAUSM. But we think about wellness in everything we do, and it's something that is really important to our leadership, to our campus dean, down to our faculty.